Hello, hello, beautiful people. Hello, beautiful sister Krystelle. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm so grateful. I come with a grateful heart and open heart today. Hope everybody are doing not only doing well, but offering themselves what they need in the moment. Mm.
Love this. I love how every time before our episode, we take the time to do this beautiful, loving prayer and meditation. I find that it's so much calm, sweet, and allowing yourself to be in the space. So I
Yeah.
always feel like, a calm energy and it's so loving. So yeah. Let's dive deep, 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 deep right away. I believe the episode is number 35 or 6. I'm not quite sure, so I'm not gonna put my foot in my mouth. But today we felt a inspiration to talk about balance, right? And probably harmony is going to come into the play. But what is exactly balance, right? How do you embody it? How do you practice it? And let's share from our experiences and what we think of that. So I'm going to let Krystelle start off and tell us more about what she feels about this topic.
Mm. Thank you. Let's start with exactly what is balanced. And I like to look at it as balancing. If you go to the gym, like you look at a kind of a plank that you can step on and that you have to keep your balance on it, you will observe that you will always be doing this to be able to keep your balance. So you're always balancing, but there's gonna be moment that you're gonna drop it one side to the other side. But what you're gonna do, you're gonna start again and start, but
Mhm.
you will never keep your balance by being just by not moving at all.
Mhm.
It's gonna always You're gonna always move one side to the other to keep yourself in balance. So there's a moment when I was at the gym that I stopped and I was just looking at that and I was, oh my god, that's what it is. We are searching for balance. I'm searching for balance in my life, but it's not something to search for. It's something to be, or to, yeah, to be in movement with. And I just want to bring that first to our consciousness, actually, to take the time to observe that movement. So that means going through life, there's polarities in everything. It's part of life. And there's, when we say it's not just black, it's not just white, there's always the gray tone. And I really love to say there's like it's all the colors in the middle. And as you were saying, like, we expect ourselves often to be perfect, to have the perfect life, the perfect balance. But that's not what life is about. It's about how we're gonna navigate those polarities. And yes, there's gonna be moments that we're gonna drop one side to the other, and then we're gonna come back again. So I really want to highlight that movement in life, and I want to hear you about it.
Love it, girl. Oh
Mm.
my gosh. I love the concept that you talked about, and um I couldn't word it out even better, describe it even better. It's not about achieving balance, it's about being and embodying, and it's exactly that. One of my affirmation is that I live in a balanced way. And as you were saying, the movement, it comes back always to the fact that nothing is set, nothing is unmoving. Everything, when you look around, even though you see a table, there's vibrations, there's movements. So life is about movement. and to expect us to embrace, to feel happy and content with fixity or with, I don't know how to say it, but unmovement is not natural, is not truthful for us in our nature. So as we were saying this example, I felt the inspiration of thinking going with the flow, right? And flowing with life, whatever you feel at that moment, whatever is your season, or whereas what are the events happening in your life, what is your level of energy, the temperature outside, the weather, everything is constantly changing. So when we have a fixed mindset per se, or a fixed way of wanting to deal with those things in the same way, you will be faced and be confronted with pain and difficulties to balance yourself back, right? So for me, living in a balanced way and embracing balance in your life is going with the flow, embracing whatever is right now, right? Not resist it. And that comes with practice. And obviously, I feel we could do another episode talking about that. How do we go to the flow and how to embrace the differences? But especially listening to yourself, knowing what works for you, knowing what do you need to adjust. Do you need to go a bit left, a bit right, in the middle? Because you said about polarities, but where do you need to adjust yourself so you can feel balanced and centered? So I want to push this example. You said that feeling centered, you might feel comfortable and centered when you're tipping a bit more on the right, let's say, at that moment in your life. That's where you feel the most centered, you know? Or maybe you can feel more on the left. Maybe the center, what we think is a perfect center, is not the right center at that moment in your life, right? Your center will always change according to so many factors. Finding this balance is about what makes you feel good at that moment, at that season in your life. And that's something for me that shifted everything, because I thought that being balanced meant sleeping 8 hours, working 8 hours, then doing my workouts of the day, then doing my journaling, then doing like a lot of doings, to-do lists, all the things. If I do that, then I will feel happy and balanced and I can be proud of myself. Guess what? That was not the reality for me. The day I embraced what worked for me, I'm not going to do all those things every day. That's for sure. I'm going to do more of certain things, less of certain things. And there's some days I'm going to just rest.
Mm.
So I'm going to stop there because I feel like it's exciting.
I'm just like, oh my God, I love this conversation. Oh my God, you're so right. You're so right on this, on like that doing. It's so easy to fall into that. It's like I have to wake up at the 5 and then do my meditation and then my workout and then doing my protein shake and then I have to eat healthy and I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna be productive. And then whatever like is but that's like what I want to say is it's easy to see that, and I'm really thinking about social media when it's really easy to compare ourselves and look at people that not people but um accounts I will say that they look at you look at it and it's like, oh, that's the perfect life, like I have to do all that in order to be happy and to be a good person and to have the perfect life that I'm looking for. But that's not what life is, and it's really easy to lose our motivation, to discourage ourselves because you're like, maybe like we come back to I'm not enough. I'm not enough to do those things. So what happened is sometimes we freeze or we just come back in a state of like not doing none of that.
Yeah.
And then after we feel like shit because like it's like we are again expecting ourselves to do everything or nothing.
Yeah.
And we forget about the compound effect of like, what about if I just take 2, 3, 5 minutes to meditate today? And tomorrow, maybe I will do it, maybe I will not. But maybe tomorrow I will take 15 minutes to move my body. Because that's another thing. To train, we think that we have to do it for an hour or two. And it has to be at the gym. But it's like it has to be this
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But what about just doing it in when I'm doing one-on-one consultation, when it's hard to put ourselves in movement, we come back to more small, in the small step. And like I will do it for 5 minutes, I will do it for 15 minutes. And if you do a 5 minute meditation, I can't say every day or every 2 days, or you move your body 15 minutes every day, you're gonna feel the result. Better than if you do it once a week, 3 hours.
Yeah. Oh.
I love that. I,
It's so crazy because it does put a trampoline for speaking about the doing. So people associate balance with expectations and outer results, right? I
mm-hmm.
would like results driven, right? And we've been breathed into that. We've been seeing that more and more because that's what people can see and touch is that, oh, does this person go that often to the gym? Does this person work that many hours to their business to develop it? Do they, like what they can count on, right? And we forget about the inner state. And it comes back to learning and knowing your authenticity. We talked back about these episodes like a while ago, and the importance of this authenticity allows you to actually align doing and being,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's not anymore about I have to do it. It becomes I want to do it and it pleasing me doing it. So you're not anymore like, oh, I have to do it. And then once I do it, now I feel I can allow myself to feel happy. Life is about processing it, about experiencing what is. So definitely we're gonna touch base about it because I've kind of discovered this difference about motivation and determination, right? One of them is sustainable and the other is just not. Coming back to balance, I feel that it's important to know yourself because whereas you're watching a lot of the content online, like you say, it's easy to fall apart and like say, oh, I should do that, I should do that. Oh, they said that they found the right recipe. They said that that's the way it works to feel happy and everything, right? So let us focus more onto being than doing to find this balance. If you want to practice to find balance for yourself, we have to honor the being, not just the doing. And Macy or Krystelle, how do we do that, right? Obviously, it starts with introspections, whatever works for you, right? You said earlier, like start incrementals, like doing 5 or 10 minutes, a compound effect instead of trying to put like 2 hours every day, like it's not realistic, right? So you have to make sure that you put yourself for success. Make it easy on you to start up. Otherwise, how are you going to succeed over the long term? You're not a robot. No one is. So introspecting with journaling, meditation, workshops, having a professional in the field, helping you discovering yourself even more will allow you to practice more the balance way.
I love that. And you make me think about when I encounter myself out of balance. And it's let's say, like, it makes me think it's a bridge with the last episode that we recorded. When I encounter myself out of balance, what is there for me to do? And when we encounter, there's symptoms of ourself feeling out of balance. And again, it's an opportunity and it's not because, how can I say, for a period in your life, what you're experiencing has balance. At some point, as you're evolving, you will be doing the same exact thing,
Yeah.
but for some reason, now you feel off balance.
Yeah.
So what's up with that? You know, and that's the thing, is because we are growing and evolving. So when we start feeling that, oh, I started to feel off balance, it's an opportunity to do a check-in. It's like a date with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I am at now, who I have become, who in the past weeks, in the past months, in the past years. Okay, this is where I am here and now. So it's an opportunity for an introspection.
Yeah.
And now, again, being back in alignment. Okay, now with the person I became, now today, this is the type of let's say movement that I need in my life. This is the type of food that I need right now. Or
Mm-hmm.
but it can be so many other things. Maybe in that period of my life, I need to sleep a little bit more. Maybe in that period of my life, I need to sleep a little bit less because I feel it. But
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So yeah, seeing those moment of, because like I was gonna speak Spanish. I was like, hey, whoa.
I love it. That's gonna be my next podcast, girl, doing it in Spanish. I would love to I'm gonna speak Spanish fluently. This is one of my goals.
One of your goals, love it. The thing I really love to, let's say, like in parenthèse, I don't know how to say that.
Parenthesis.
Okay. um Sometimes I love to, because I speak three languages, I like to mix them all together because it's just easier to express exactly what I want to say.
In each pieces of the what you want to say, it's like in the specific language. Girl, I
Yeah,
feel you. Like I do it in English sometimes, and like I speak French, and I'm like, it's just in English. I have the word, and I just say it in English. Hopefully, they understand me. You know.
not the same, or it doesn't hit the same.
Yes, I know.
Ah, yes. So now, um, yeah. So I really wanted to highlight that on like, what do I do when I find myself out of balance? It's really to be, again, taking the opportunity, the window of like coming back to ourselves. And that's what we were talking in the last episode of, like, in the moment of more like storm, we can feel it like a storm. There are opportunity for change, opportunity to readjust. So that's what I want to do.
I love it. That inspires me to talk about the symptoms. Like
Mm,
you said, like, oh, I feel out of balance. What does it mean, right? Because we have time. Like we're so efficient. Like, see, but we're going with the flow. I love it. But
yes.
um, what are the symptoms, right? People are like, well, Macy, what do you mean by out of balance? Like people have stopped because of the lack of introspection, which is totally normal, guys. Like I said, we've been breeded and taught to just not introspect with ourselves and know ourselves on a deeper level. But this is changing and it's beautiful. And so what are the factors or the feelings of feeling out of balance, right? And what are the signs and the symptoms of feeling that you are in balance, you're embodying? So I'm going to say whatever I experience, and then you're welcome to say more. But when you feel out of balance, it's a bit of bridge of the last episode where you feel constantly in a stressing mode. You're stressed, you're nervous, your heart is beating fast, you're not feeling rested, even though you sleep, let's say, every day, and your brain just doesn't stop thinking, but not just thinking about anything, negative things. Start thinking about the worst scenario, and you're like chasing what your to-do list, chasing things, and you're like feeling that you're losing the foot of control of your life. So those are the symptoms I've been experiencing when I felt more out of balance. So the opposite of what I've experienced. When you are in balance, even though outside looks chaotic, or even though your to-do list is not done, or even though there's things that you have not planned that happened, you are adapting, like we said, and going with the flow and going according to your inner self and your outer self, is a feeling of confidence that the base case scenario is going to happen, that you are in good hands right now, that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and whatever that needs to be addressed will be addressed. You feel confident because you are honoring your inner self. You feel confident because you are not resisting. You are adapting. So that's a way of balancing and living in a balanced way. Second thing is that you feel peaceful in a sense that it's not anymore about results, but more about how you feel regarding those results. So there's an inner peace coming along when you feel it balanced. And three, you feel good. You feel good, you feel in a good energy, not you don't need to be full energetic and do everything outside. You can be very rested and calm and still feel balanced. Or you can be very outgoing and doing a lot of shit and still feel balanced. It depends of whatever is going inside of you. Are you in harmony with your inside self, with your season, and whatever is out there, whatever you're doing? So inner peace, a good sense of confidence, and a calm, certain sense of calm. Those I would say would be main symptoms for you to feel that you're in balance. You're not chasing, you just are, and thus you attract. So for me, once you taste that, you cannot go back. Like I cannot allow, and it will happen. I feel out of balance because you said it. It's inevitable. It's part of life, and you need to experience those out of balance things, right? But when that happens, it's a moment to check with ourselves. It's a moment to have a date with ourselves to bring ourselves back with grace into balance. I want to have that majority of my time than the latter, right?
Mm, love it. I would have explained it. I would have gave the same symptoms. I would like to add for the out of balance. Maybe you feel really really tired. Maybe you're losing a lot of your things. And, and I'm not. And here, like we are not doctors and all that. So let's be clear here. And maybe some of you that are listening can experience ADHD or maybe without the H. And you will feel like it's because of that. But if you see when you're more stressed or that you start being out of balance, maybe your symptoms of what we can call maybe ADHD you will feel it maybe increasing. For me, I feel it this way. So you will see it's like when for example you wake up and it's been several days that it's kind of like now you wake up but then you step on the cat and then you had a coffee so you just change but then your coffee is all on your clothes but then you have to change again but then now you're late to let's say take the bus but then it's icy so you fall on the ice and then you had you had like papers to bring with you but they get all messed up and then you lose one and all that. It's really an extreme example but it's just for you to be able to relate like these can also be symptoms or indication of like okay maybe I need to ground myself and see what is going on where maybe I feel all over the place so overwhelming.
Like you have a lot of bad lucks per se, and then a lot
Yeah,
of things keep happening, and you're like, shit, why does it keep happening? But it
exactly,
reflects your inner state, you know?
exactly. um yeah. And sometimes also you can feel maybe you're gonna another for me another um like say flag that I'm out of balance is I get sick,
Mm.
like a flu for example. And yes it can be normal we can catch it but if you see like when I feel balanced there's gonna be people around me that will be sick and I'm not gonna get sick
Mm.
or maybe I'm gonna have a bit of symptoms but it's not gonna knock me out like right.
Because you have a strong vitality, you're energized by your balanced. Mm.
Exactly. So that can be another example. And all for the balance symptoms, like I really love what you name because I would have saying the same. And maybe if you try to create, you're gonna feel you have access to your creativity. You will feel like, oh, I'm flowing, like I feel in the flow. And that what you said, that feeling of trust, those moments when you're like the sky can fall and I feel that everything will be okay. But there's moments that you're like, if the sky fall, I'm dying for sure. So what's the difference? Because the event, the observation is the sky will fall. So
Mm.
why there's moment that you feel that you got it all, and there's moment that you feel that you're just gonna die? It's that yeah, it's everything that is going inside our mindset, the way to perceive things, and if you if you look at bad luck, or like things, not bad luck, but when we look at life, when life is happening, unless we are really not doing anything but anything to help ourselves, when things are happening, I observe that life always comes to support us through it. For example, you lose your job because for a budget situation, they have to lay off people, for example. But if you're really just, and even that, it can happen. But I was going to say, if you're just sitting like in your bed like that, and for days and days and days, and saying, I lost my job, I lost my job, I lost my job, I lost my job, maybe it's going to be, and being like that, maybe it's going to be hard to see all the
The
other
other.
opportunities being you.
Mhm.
But if but again, if we take the other side of that, you can also just receive a notification on your phone from a friend and saying, "Oh, I don't know if it will interest you, but I saw that they are looking for, like, they are hiring right now in this place." So yeah, where I was gonna go with that
That's
is
perfect.
to have that feeling of like you will be supported no matter what,
Oh,
no matter what, and it seems scary, but it's not about having all the opportunity. Is that there's gonna be one. About those closed door, like you feel sometimes that all the door are closing, but that's just a natural cleaning for that one door that will be left for you to enter, and gonna give you access to a completely different world, reality, new experiences. So that feeling of
yeah.
trusting that you're gonna be supported no matter what will happen.
The trust. I definitely cannot wait to write a description on it because I feel like we bundled all the symptoms very beautifully. And time is flying. And I want to conclude with, and I feel like one of our episodes could be about how do we embrace expanding energy? Because
Mm,
like it's a practice, guys, right? And obviously for both of us, our spirituality helped greatly, if not just that's what it is for us. But how do we actually practice expansive energy so we can think more this way, this trust, this letting go, this surrendering state? Like it's a practice, and a lot to uncover there, and a lot of self-work that I've done for sure to be able to be there. But that's what we call transformation, right? To come back to the balanced way, I feel that I want to finish with the fact that I know the reality for certain people is that, Macy, I don't have time to change my mindset at the moment. Things are going wrong. I feel out of balance. I just feel like I'm losing control. I feel like everything is out of place. And then let's say your day starts with what you described. You're sleeping, coffee spills on you. And it's a practice, guys, but there's a way to shift momentarily the energy throughout the day when shit happens like that, right? So when you feel like there's a day that you didn't have time, it's been a week, you have kids to take care of, you have a job, you really have a busy week, and you know you're out of balance and you're just feeling so hopeless and still don't know what to do, it doesn't have to take you 2 hours. And you don't have to completely cleanse your out of balance to be in balance completely because you don't have time to do it. It's just a question of intention and incremental time. So when, for example, you have a day that's starting very in the wrong foot, and then things happen and bad luck after, take your time in between the moments that one shit happen and the next shit happens. You're driving, you're taking a bus, or you have a very quick 2 minutes for yourself. I'm asking just 5 minutes with yourself. Close your eyes, take deep breath, and declare to yourself, I'm okay, I am safe, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And now I'm going to shift my day. Anything that comes to you, it just has to take 5 minutes. You have to break for yourself this pattern that's going on in this day, and you can do it in such a short time. And regarding people who are very busy and have obligations, family obligation, jobs obligations, and you don't see yourself being able to realign yourself and introspect and pray and meditate, because people sometimes have an idea that it has to take so long. You don't. Take very small times in your day to self-care, to breathe in and out. That's all. And the rest will follow. You're going to have more clarity, but it is a process. We're not expecting you to be out of balance and in balance like that. It's a process. Everything is a process. So as long as you're being aware of your out of balance state, and as long as you're trying and putting out there the intention of slowly coming back into your balance, even though you're not able to allow yourself that yet, you're not able to sleep more, you're not able to, let's say, rest more, or whatsoever is your reality at that moment, put yourself those little time and moments and intention, and slowly move towards it, slowly acknowledge it. So I want to finish up with that.
And the last thing that I will say with that, it makes me think about the quantum science of everything that is happening at the same time. And in that comes the love mirror, which from the moment we shift inside, the world would manifest differently. And I know it sounds cliche because maybe we have heard it 100 times of like, yeah, but like whatever that means. But yes, because the experience that are happening in our daily life, they are present to us for us to evolve and grow and change some things. Again, to come back to evolving always. So the moment that we shift inside, the world will manifest. Situations will manifest differently because we don't have to experience that because, okay, I don't need to take things more slowly because I'm taking already the time to do the to to realign or to balance my life for myself. So maybe I don't need a major event to happen or chaotic event to happen. So yeah, just being aware that everything will be mirror to us. So not taking necessarily the experiences as that much personal, but as like, okay, thank you to allow me to see myself. Thank you for allowing me to bring that to my consciousness that I wanted seeing it, that I was just on autopilot, for example. So this, just that little shift difference.
Shifting, girl. I love it. And that comes to another topic we could talk, how to not take situations personally. So that takes things personally. For me, that was such a great shift and transformation. So excited. Has flown. I don't want us to, like expend too much in our time with the episodes, but wow, this has been amazing. And I love what you said. And yeah, it's a question of practice, and we'll see it. There's a discernment where like people want to do it, but do it for the results. There's a difference when you do it for yourself and you give yourself the self-love. So the shift's gonna be like, you cannot lie to the universe. The universe knows it all. It knows the source of all, the essence of it. So learning to be embracing this truthfulness with ourselves is a level of vulnerability. Whoa, I don't know where I got that, but that's definitely gonna be a topic we could talk about.
Yummy.
You are adorable. I love it. Thank you so much, Krystelle. It's been
Thank
amazing
you.
as usual, as our second episode together. So let us keep in touch and see you next time for our next episode.
See you for next episode and stay well. Wishing you well.
Yes, and happy holidays.
Yes, happy holidays.